Hello, everybody. It is me, Empress Cusi, and today we are here talking about the Rising of the Shield Hero episode 15. Okay, so before I get to anything, when they showed the beginning of the episode where it showed Raftalia in the past playing with her two friends, Rifana and the guy dude with like the blackish gray hair. Don't remember his name whatsoever, but it's probably going to get mentioned in this episode or next episode. But I also really love it how this episode's like title is even called Raftalia, and we get to see her backstory and everything. To be honest, when her parents died, I thought that she became a slave after that, but I guess that she like was still alive and she was still trying to like help out her village. I really like it how her parents were teaching her all these values. You can just see that demi-humans had like way better system involved with things because like man, those knights like around like the 7 minute mark of this episode, because I've only watched the first 9 minutes, they're just like pieces of shit. Like they just do whatever they're told. They just like kill people just instantly. Like there's times where there's times like war movies when like people are trying to do that to like terrorists, that they try to like be kind to like the kids and stuff like that, but then usually that like gets back at them in war movies in like real life. But then in this context it's like a fantasy world, so we can be a little bit more lenient that like the demi-humans, we know that they're innocent. And then the same thing within real life, like there's some people that are innocent, but then some people choose the other side over all sides. So then you see that they think that the capital is going to help them, and instead they like capture them and throw them as slaves. I'm going all over the place from the topic that I was talking about before, but I like it how slash it's also bad that the capital are a bunch of hypocrites. Like they were like getting mad at Nafumi like earlier on, like saying like why would you have a slave as a partner, even though that the capital are the people that made the demi-human slaves in the first place. So basically you're saying that pieces of shit douchebags are like the fat dude are allowed to have these slaves and torture them like crazy, but you can't have like a dude like have like a partner in in like an adventure like group have a slave and like have it as a partner. Like a bunch of hypocrites right there that don't know a thing. And then one thing, back to what I was gonna say before, back at the start of this episode, about how when Raftalia was playing with her friends, like she like her friend Rifana is just like saying like who do you love, and then Raftalia ends up saying her father because she's being a little bit aloof. Like nowadays, you know that she isn't that aloof because she actually likes Nafumi. And then Rifana says that she would like to marry one of the legendary heroes, and then she didn't even say shield hero, but I guess like their flag of their village looks like it has a shield in it. So and we saw how when Ratalia said that she wants to marry the shield hero, the wave appeared just like that, and like as soon as I saw that, like something clicked in my head that's just like, was this a predetermined destiny thing? Because as soon as when she said I want to marry the shield hero, the wave just appears just like that. Like my head is just like, this must be destiny. It's like she wants to meet the shield hero. Guess what? In order for you to meet the shield hero, Destiny's just like, I need to make you have a terrible childhood, and then you'll meet him somewhere in the future. Like that's just the main thought that I had when that part happened. Then we saw them go fast forward into the future with Raftalia facing off against the fat dude, and then the fat dude's like begging for his life, and then Raftalia is like taking nothing out. You can tell that she's like shaking because she's about to commit a murder, which she's in the right. Like I have no idea why. Like that, there's always this like pull and gain that like says like if you kill someone, if you're a hero, that means that you're like as bad as the bad guy, even though that you're killing a bad guy, and you would only kill bad guys because you wouldn't really kill good guys. Like you'd still be lenient with bad people. You would still like want them to be good, but if people are just bad, bad, and bad, and bad, and if you see that they're never gonna change, then you should just kill them. Like there shouldn't be like a high ground. We saw how Nafumi took a high ground and like was asking Raftalia if killing him was like, was weird seeing them take the high ground when Nafumi doesn't take the high ground the whole time. I guess he does take the high ground in some points when he tried to save the prince and stuff like that, where if he was the way that he was before he met Ratalia, he'd probably leave the princess alone. So I guess it just depends on where you're at and where your moral system is. And then Ratalia decides to like just throw him in jail, but then he like takes out his sword and tries to fight her. I like it how in the fight he was winning, even though he's a fat dude. I guess fat dude has more weight because Ratalia is like skinny and I guess like just a little bit muscular. She also had practice using her sword against monsters, so I have no idea why she can't fight against this dude. I guess maybe she's tired or something. Because like, man, that guy was just like grabbing her arm during the fight and like throwing it, and then she like the fat dude ended up winning, and then just pushing her on the ground. Hey, I would like to retract my statement on what I said before. This is me from the future while I'm editing, and I realized that it was mostly a stalemate because she used her mana sword, which I forgot to talk about. She stabbed him with it right in the chest. He like got really mad because it hurt him, so then he ended up kicking her. She flew onto the floor, and then before she even got to get up, he tripped over his whip and then flew and smashed at the window. since I already talked about him smashing through the window, that's all I need to talk about. Continue with the video. Now, I think Reptalia pushed him, and then he like flew backwards and hit glass, and he smashed through the glass. Now, in the manga, I thought that I don't remember that much from the manga because I like read it back during episode 2 when this anime. So then I thought I thought that Reptalia slashed him, and then he like flew into the window really hard, and then flew onto the ground with like bloody marks on him. But I guess instead he in this it's like moral high ground. He just trips on his whip. He like no yeah she didn't push him. He tripped on his whip and then hit the glass, and his heaviness was enough to break the glass, and he flew and hit the floor. And then right now he's unconscious or dead. He's probably like a little bit broken. Probably has a little bit of like sprained ankles or something like that. And then we saw them go down into the hole that we saw last episode with the stairs going down there to go to where to see if there's any slaves roaming around, because there has to be like some survivors from when she was a kid. Like who knows? Like, maybe that guy still has a kink, so maybe he still has some of them in there. So then they like went down there and they showed some flashbacks of Talia of her like when the village was destroyed. She's like trying to like get everyone to like rebuild the village, but then like I said before earlier, the knights like stopped them from living the village and made them all slaves. I like it how during this time, because like right now we're still at that flashback part, but I stopped the episode at 9 minutes, so I've only seen the beginning of it. I haven't seen the ending of it yet. But you saw how Talia was trying to like go with her father and mother's word that she would smile no matter how harsh her life is, like, and then she's just like smiling through the torture and stuff like that, and and then the fat dude in the past that when she was a kid is like saying how boring she is because she doesn't do it. You could just automatically tell that something's probably gonna happen that breaks her, probably because like she's like is like trying to make like because her two friends are with her. I guess one friend is with her, maybe the other guy is somewhere else. But we saw how she like holded hands with Rifana and like let her like say that like make her like think better. Like, and then she smiled in front of her. It was more of a fake smile because before her smile was a little bit better because they were like in a better situation when she was with all her villagers. But in this place, you could tell that it's a faint smile, or I guess it's a faint slash fake smile where it's half real and half fake. And then then you saw how when Rifana was getting whipped, Raftalia was like I guess listening in. You saw how Rifana wasn't able to do that. I guess she wasn't as strong to make noise instead of Raftalia, but it is still a pretty bad situation. And I guess that's where I'm at right now. So yeah, it's a pretty good first 9 minutes of this episode. I can't wait to see what happens and see what more of her flashback life is like, because they didn't usually this stuff in the manga. They only usually lasted 1 or 2 pages, so it's gonna be awesome to see it go through until until the end of this episode to see this flashback stuff. So yeah, I'll be back in a few minutes for you the rest of this. Dude, man, that's brutal. I watched from about 9 minutes to about 16 minutes, and just wow. I was wondering what she was gonna look like. I thought that maybe it was just gonna be empty. But dude, that that's just sad. Like man, I'm like tearing up right now. Like man, she is just bones. They left her bones in her cell, and she was still holding on to the flag that Raftalia made her. Like, dude, she's still holding on to the flag that Raftalia made her. Like that just makes it even more just tearful. We saw how apparently her other friend was apparently also in the jail cell, but apparently they just didn't notice him. But he was like all the way like down somewhere else, or like all the way on the other side of them. And like we found out the dude's name is Keel-kun. We saw that apparently he was also there. We saw how like man like she just got tortured the most. It's really weird how it took like it was I guess it's different for everyone, but like Rifana Chan was like she got sick a lot quicker, and then like it must have been like a while, like it must have been like a few months or like a few weeks, and then Raftalia ended up getting it. And then we saw how man like I guess like the main dude must have really liked Kilkun because he's still alive somehow. We saw that there was only 3 survivors, and who knows if the other two are just like not even from their village. That those two might be from a different village, but I'm assuming that they might be from this village also, from their village. And we saw how when Rifano was getting tortured, she was crying the whole entire time. So I guess that really destroyed Raftalia's like spirit, because she was like covering her ears and stuff like that because she didn't want to hear it. We saw 2 flashbacks. We saw like starting the flashback, and then when Raftalia saw her body, we saw how Raftalia had another flashback that apparently she didn't really say it earlier in the episode, where she said that she wanted to marry one of the legendary heroes, but she changed her mind. Instead of saying one of them, she told Raftalia before Raftalia left that she really wanted to have the shield hero marry her in order to save her life and stuff like that. It's really weird. Like at least none of them like feel bad about Nafumi, about how long it took him to finally save them, because it definitely did take a long time when you see how long everything's been. Like who knows how long ago that was. We saw how the flag apparently the Rifana wanted to see the flag, and that's why she had a flag in her hand. That Raftalia couldn't ask for the flag because there's no way that they would have done it. So then she like made it out of hay that's on the floor that they slept on. And then we saw how after the flashback, or I guess like before the flashback ended, we saw how Raftalia got sent to the slave merchant guy, and then she ended up just staying there until Nafumi saw her. And then we saw how Philo found someone, and then I think Philo was the one that found Keelkun. And then they found him, and then he didn't recognize her at first, but then Raphtalia, instead of like saying like "look at me," she like told him like their past and everything, and then he finally trusted her. And then Nafumi healed him, and I guess like Nafumi will have to give him medicine soon because he was coughing like Raphtalia did when Nafumi first got her. So then, and then he was happy that he finally got to see the Shield Hero. Kodemi humans love the Shield Hero. One thing I forgot to mention is that the Reinhardt, they ended up they ended up healing Reinhardt, or I guess the princess Melty ended up saving Reinhardt, so he's with them and stuff like that. That's one thing I forgot. I forgot that he was even there. But yeah, so far this second part was pretty amazing. I really enjoyed it. The story elements, like the things that we saw, it was pretty cool. And and I can't wait to see what happens in the last bit of this episode. But I can't wait to see how this episode ends. It's really interesting right now. So I'll be back in a few minutes to read the rest of this. Okay, I am back, and I just watched the last bit of this episode. I watched from around 16 minutes to 22 minutes. I haven't seen what the title for the next episode is, but I'll probably do that when I'm done the ending of this review. But okay, so right before they showed the ending of the episode with with the huge dinosaur, they showed Raphtalia talking to Rifana's ghost. Now, whenever when they do scenes like that in animes or like anything, even in movies and such, I'm just like, did that happen? Or did it not happen? Because whenever when I see those in stories, I want those scenes to like actually happen, like that, like actually happen, where like she went to like a different dimension and then she talks to the ghost. Like it's the same thing with that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Like you have scenes, especially in like the manga or the anime, where you see stuff and you're just like, did that really happen? Or is that fake? I know that they're supposed to do it for like sentimental value, but I want those scenes to like actually be literal. Like the spirit actually got to talk to Raftalia, and it's not just like a fake scene to make me feel something. Because when it's fake, I'm just like, yeah, I don't fucking care about that scene anymore. But if that literally did happen, where if I did actually get to talk to her, then awesome, great. Didn't happen, I don't care. I mean, I care a little bit, not to like be a little bit rude right there, but like to be realistic right there. Those are my thoughts on scenes like those. Talia ended up like doubting herself about how apparently because she accidentally killed the fat dude, she's saying that she's a disgrace. She needs to die. She needs to like she hates herself. She can't save anyone now because of that. She like can't accept herself now, and she couldn't accept herself in the past. With and then Nafumi ends up telling Raphtalia about everything that she's done, like trying to put her on the right track and saying like like you should join up with me so that way none of this can ever happen to another demi-human again. And I'm pretty sure that Reptile will probably take that to heart. Like she'll probably take that statement that Nafumi made to heart. That she'll probably be like an avenger for all demi-humans. Like make it so that way no demi-human goes through what she did. That's sort of like what he said. I can't say it word for word. I'd have to I'd have to like go back to that part where I'm watching right now and then say it word from word. But I paraphrased it quite well. Saw how even Ilkun talked to Raftalia and was telling her that about her like telling them to smile all the time through hardship actually made it so that way him and the two other survivors survived this long. I'm assuming that those two other survivors are also kids that from that village because they have to be, or else they're just standing there just being like, what are they talking about with smiling and stuff like that. So I'm assuming that they were also there. It was a pretty awesome moment with him trying to like get Raftalia back on track, and then she did. She ended up like about to cry again, but then she ended up smiling, and then she ended up preserving Rafina's, I already forgot her name. Rafina's like body, like her skeleton, into like a bag, and also put like her like makeshift flag inside of it, and then she hugged it. And apparently they're going to like give her a proper burial soon. I wonder where they're going to put it. It was right before they came out of the cave. Melty was talking about how bad the situation was. She was remembering her talk with the queen, and she's like remembering like her like discussion about how the queen wants to have the king abolished or something like that, or wants him to step down so that way because of his tyranny and stuff like that. And then we saw how Reichnaut ended up telling Melty that this isn't a situation that only happened in this like part of the kingdom. That's happening all over the whole country. And then when Melty hears that, she's just like, "What?" You can tell that that's because she's 13 years old and doesn't know anything. That she's just like she's probably going to be really hard on her father now because before she was like very optimistic about Nafumi and the father like 2 or 3 episodes ago. But now with everything that's happened, she's just like going to be hardcore. Probably she's probably still going to be nice to him because she still like loves him and stuff like that. But knowing that all of this stuff is happening and that the king probably knows about it, or like somewhat knows about it because the church knows about it. So the king probably knows somewhat about what's going on. Some probably doesn't know some things that go on because it seems like he doesn't even have control over his like knights unless he does, because then he does need to be stepped down Probably thrown into a jail cell or just put into like probation or something. We saw how when they got out of the slave cave, apparently the fat dude is still alive. And I mentioned that earlier. Like literally all he did is fall off a 2-story building. Unless that was 3 stories. Like if he survived 3 stories, that's pretty lucky. But if it was only 2 stories, then you could survive that. Apparently he summoned a dinosaur from a spire, and apparently we found out 3 heroes or all 4 heroes like sealed away a monster, like sealed away the dinosaur in the spire. But then it's weird how he was able to do it. Like the fat guy, part of the church, was able to like unlock the monster, and then a giant like dinosaur with like a crown appeared, and then like I really like it how like in scenes like this when you see the bad guy, especially the fat dude, being like, "Yes, I control the monster. I am." I can now defeat. If I defeat the shield hero, then I am a god. Usually, any scene in any anime, when someone summons like a monster away or a demon, the demon's not going to talk to you unless like the story ends up saying like if you summon the demon, then you get complete control over it. Most of the time, like 89% of the time in stories, that doesn't happen. Like it's just going to be on its, unless you're able to like not get yourself killed, it's going to kill you. So then the dinosaur just steps right on him and crushes him. Saw people talking about like him dying this way, saying about how wrong it was, and saying that he probably should have got tortured and stuff like that. That is true. That is like the fat dude should have like the most horrible death ever, and should probably be tortured as he got tortured, as he tortured the demi-humans. He should get tortured, but it is a pretty quick death. It is funny though. Yeah, that's how the episode ended. The episode ended with the dinosaur appearing and then having to fight it, and apparently the oh man. I know how this fight goes, and I know what's gonna happen in the next episode, or episode 17, and I'm just like ah, ah, spoiler for 10 seconds. Why are the 3 heroes just not strong? They're like always just not strong. Okay, I'm back now. So yeah, this episode was pretty good. I enjoyed everything about it. I can't wait to see what happens in the next episode, because the episode's going to be pretty interesting. Especially if they end it, they're probably going to end it the right way. And then the episode 18 is going to be pretty. No, episode 17 is going to be pretty funny and also pretty brutal. But yeah, if you enjoyed this review / my thoughts and my opinions, don't simply leave a like. If you enjoyed this whatsoever, then leave a dislike. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video sometime, somewhere. Who knows? Bye. See you later.